Hi, my name is Deborah Adler. I am an artist and a licensed art therapist, and I'm here with you today to de stress with rock painting. I have a different approach on rock painting. I know anyone can do it and just paint them and be happy, and that's great. But I really like the significance behind it with rock painting. I'm very intrigued with stones and the qualities and the uniqueness of each one. So when you look at rocks, let's like explore some of the characters and qualities they have. Some of them are rough, some of them are smooth, some of them are shiny, some of them might have sharp edges, and some might have smooth edges. Um, Whatever rocks you find, all can be beautiful and unique in their own way, just like you. So, they're also a beautiful part of nature and they can provide wonderful tools for stability, for luck, for strength, and self expression. And there also could be metaphors for life. So, how is that? So, um, if you think about it, rocks have been moved around from place to place, even thrown around, kicked around, um, beat up. And maybe we feel that a little bit in our lives. And especially during this time when things can get really stressful and overwhelmed, we feel like we're kind of kicked around. But at the end of the day, the rock remains strong and solid. And so can you. I thought we'd put that into the rock, but also add some creativity and beauty and light. And also can serve as just a transitional object for us to hold on to reflect, to have a sense of power. And that's what I want to do. So first, what we need to do for set up our area is you need to find a rock. And if you don't have your own rock collection like I do, you can walk outside, go in your yard, take a walk, which is all healthy, and pick out a rock that you like. Then you need a bunch of paints. Um, these are acrylic, which are very thick, which really works nicely on rocks. If you don't have acrylic paints, tempera paints could work. And if you don't even have that, you can use paint markers. These are paint Sharpie markers. So these are nice to use and they give you a lot of control. Secondly, also to put your paints, if you don't have a palette, which a lot of people don't, you can use the lid of a plastic container. And I'm sure you have that because most people have that at somewhere, in some place in their house. Even egg cartons can work just as well. So you need some paint brushes, and I recommend two. One being a little thicker, so you cover more surface area, and the other one being more finer for more fine tuning area. I also have a Q-tip, which most people do have, because a Q-tip is a nice tool, and you can make some nice dots and lines, and you can use that as well. In your area, it would be great to have paper towel or napkin, just because when you're changing colors, you really want to dry your brush off for each step. And then a cup of water to clean your brush, and a nice area that's covered, like newspaper or newsprint paper. And then you're good to go. What I want to do is I'm going to show you a couple of rocks that I've had and made to just stimulate you with some ideas. This is one I started with different blues and purples, and I created a butterfly. And on the back, I put the word purpose. That was my focus for there. Here's another one I created with different designs and lines, and these were just with the paint markers, not the paints. And the other side, I just put the word stimulated with a bunch of dots. Let's see. This one someone made for me, which has two different colors, is a little glitter. If you have glitter, why not? I always believe in a little sparkle. Let's see. This one is with metallic markers, if you have that. And it has a bunch of different lines, and it says smile. And this is one that is actually a glazed one. So it's just different colors, and it says inspire. So those are just some examples. Some other things also that I have just to look at. There's some things with words. There's different techniques of coloring. So let's get started. So for the first rock, I'm going to pick, this looks like a nice one to start with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make just a bunch of different colors because I like color. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to dip it into the water just to get it started. And I'm going to dip it into my paints. I'm going to start with red. That's usually my routine. I start with red a lot for some reason. And I'm going to just start painting a line. Kind of making like almost like a stripe, a thick stripe. You know, I'm going to paint to the edge as far as I can go. And if I want to paint the back, I'll paint the back when the top part is dry. So that was nice and easy. So there you go. There's my first part. I'm going to clean my water like I said. Clean it off and dry my brush. And then I'm going to go with orange. I think I'm going to go with like a rainbow theme here. We need some rainbows right now. So I'm going to continue with the stripe. I'm going to probably make like a little border here. And then I'll fill that in. Now you could keep it a clean line or you could fade it, which is something I enjoy doing, but it's a little advanced. So you kind of like, here I'll show you. This is a clean line where it's just distinct, red and orange. Or you can mix them too. You can mix the colors a little bit so you have a red-orange. So it's a little softer. And sometimes you need to go back. So I'm going to clean my brush and go over the red a little bit more. Make the red a little vibrant again. And then just blend it over. Sometimes it's just a matter of going over and over and over until you get the right color. There. Okay. So now I think I'm going to use the other brush because this is kind of a big area and the lines are thick. So now I'm going to take my yellow and make another stripe. Nice. And remember, if it gets on the other color, it's okay. What's great about these rocks, these colors, you could paint things over. But it's not about perfection. It's just a matter of coloring and having fun. An important thing to know is that when you're painting in general, you're actually putting yourself in a meditative state, which I know is talked about a lot right now, being in the here and now in the present, and it really slows things down. This is really what we need right now because our minds are racing. We're thinking about the next thing. We're worried about the future. But by doing this painting and just focusing, we're just calming the brain, calming the mind, calming that emotional part of ourselves where we're just overthinking things and building up our anxiety. So just enjoy the process, you know. And even if you feel like it's a mess, it's okay. You can get another rock. All right, so there's my three colors. So now I'm going to clean my brush again. Now I'm going to get my green and make my little line. And remember, I'm doing this somewhat quickly, so you can take your time and be a little more precise with this if you want. Now I need to blend those two. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and a little bit of green and mix that. Just as another way to get a yellow-green in between. That rhymes, yellow-green in between. Yeah, that looks nice. Really nice. See that fading? Okay, now we're on to blues. Clean my brush. I think I'm going to use a little light blue first before I get to the dark blue. That might be nice. Kind of reminds me of the sky, you know? And when you see rainbows, you see them in the sky. Now, I have to touch up that green a little bit. That's okay. So just going to go over it back and forth and back and forth. Nice. Love that. Now I'm going to go to the dark blue. Add that. Just 2 more colors because we know we need to add purple, or some people say violet. Now if your brush gets too wet and it looks a little watery, which kind of happened to me, you just might have to go in and dry your brush off and just go back right over it. No big deal. And also you can even let it dry a little bit and then go over it again, because sometimes overall it's just too watery. Lastly, I'm going to do my purple. It might get on my hand a little bit. There you go. There's my painted rock. Now, before I put any words on it, because I kind of like to do that, I'm going to let this one dry. While this one dries, I'm going to show you the paint markers. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one for my paint markers. Now, what can I do? Let's see. Maybe I want to start with a nice word and work around it. So I think at this time, I feel like we need a little bit of hope right now. So I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to write the word hope. It's nice and easy with the paint markers. I don't have to worry about, spilling. So I just wrote the word. But now I want to jazz it up, because I actually enjoy the color of the rock alone. You can, before you do the words, you could paint the whole rock itself, let that dry, and then put the word on top. That's just another option. I wanted to try something different since the other one I painted the full rock. So maybe on this one I'm going to make a couple of lines. Kind of from this center and move it out. Almost like I want the word to just really shine. And I'm going to just keep adding different colors to make it more and more interesting. So here's what I have now. I added some more lines. It's starting to come alive. Let's see what else. I think I'm going to add another line just to accent more. I'm going to take my green. Whatever colors you pick is fine. So let's add some more lines. And you know what? I noticed that green doesn't show up well, so I'm going to change it. I have a darker green. Let's hope this one works. Nope, does not. That's okay. I have other colors. Orange works, so we'll make some orange lines. So I just added a few more lines. Okay? And now, let's add something else. What can I do? How about maybe some polka dots? And you know what? How about this time we mix it? I'm going to take my Q-tip. And I think white might look nice. Might really stand out. So you just dip your Q-tip into the white and make a couple of lines. And I'm dipping all lines around, and it's really starting to pop. Look, I love it. And it really worked well. So I incorporated not only marker, but I also incorporated paint as well. So let's see how my other one is doing. I think it's still a little wet, so let's wait on that. Is there anything else we can add? Perhaps let's add another color. Let's try yellow lines. I think yellow would pop too. So I'm dipping my yellow, and we'll make some more yellow lines. What makes yellow lines for the first time. And it's a nice controlled way of painting without, having to clean your brush. Always adding dots make things, I think, a little festive. Yeah, that looks really nice. Nice. All right, so we're going to put this one aside, and then we're going to have this one. Now, again, you don't have to put a word. You can also make a design on top of that if you want. You can make, I got an idea what I would like to do. A lot of people like hearts. And right now, maybe some of your hearts are hurting. So maybe we make a nice vibrant heart. And I have a nice red mixture. And of course, I'm going to take my fine brush. Um, and I'm just going to make a nice heart in the center. And just start slow. My advice for painting a heart is start with it small, I mean, because you can always make it bigger. And if you make it too big, then, it's hard to go back because you did spend all that good work on the outside of your rock. So you can always just keep making it bigger. And of course, this takes a little bit more skill. If you don't feel comfortable painting the heart, you can, wait even longer and use your marker to create it if it gives you more control. So there's my heart. My heart is on my strong rock. Okay, so now to complete that, you can be done, or maybe you want to put a word out there. What could be your word? So let's think, and let's find a nice marker. Now, if you don't have paint markers, you can always use plain old Sharpies. They work great. The paint markers just add that extra kind of paint feel. So I think what I want to do to add to my rainbow and my heart is to just add the word love, because I feel like, again, that's an important thing we need right now. And we all need a little bit of extra love. So I'm just going to write love. Now, you can do it any which way. You can have fun with it. Let's see how I want to write it. I'm just going to write it around it really big. I just wrote it pretty simple, just like that. And I'm happy with that. So that's about it. Remember a couple of things. Always clean your brush in between and have a dry brush when you're mixing colors. When you blend the colors, you can always mix the colors while you're on here, or you can make a blend on the palette or plastic container, and let that dry before you use your markers. Um, with the markers, you really have limit to just go crazy with drawing. You don't have to really let things dry. So once you're done, what I want you to do is think about, your rocks. Maybe take a breath in and sort of like take it in and holding on to that rock, what that rock can give you. If you're feeling like you're not feeling your strongest, and let that rock give you the strength. Think about that rock, you being that rock, becoming the rock. And maybe the word, sort of like maybe say the word over and over in your heart as like a mantra. And whenever you're feeling down or stressed, maybe you'll look at that rock or put it in a place in your house that will give you a source of inspiration and hope and strength. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you need to reach me, I have a website you can go on to, and that's art therapy, the number 4 healing.com. You can reach me, Deborah Adler. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, and I look forward to another presentation. Bye.